Jinemi mochail min jach aro mochrach. Jinemi mochail min jach of me a valai. Jinemi mochail min jach a hunken roa yorsema. Jinemi mochail min jach sa chami ferna hatje. Hook me gast a van a year to beer a shot a hollachuk. Ten hoshi kuri kan a shram a din op an hang. Hook me donna pela us a fanka do me wish a tosh an hoshi kir to grow a roast a diggin hain a gan.
Kimerahow, how are you?
Kimerahow, Vairat?
How come I tapel at the him? Kimerahow hain. Kimerahow hain. How are you yourself?
How come ma?
A vil look up it.
Ha, me a folav.
A him. Kimerahow, Katrina.
How come ma? Kimerahow hain.
How come I tapel at? A vil ski.
Ha me ski. Ha me giri coffee.
A vil she me giri coffee.
A him. Vil giri coffee. Ha me fala.
A him.
Sure.
A vil giri coffee.
Chanil, me giri banya.
Vairat.
Sure.
Ha me giri coffee agus banya.
When someone addresses you or calls you, you put a in front of the word and you change the beginning of the name by adding H as its second letter. Take my name, Myrath. When someone addresses me, it becomes a Vairath.
A Vairat?
A Vairat?
Similarly with Katrina. When I speak to her, I say a Katrina. A Katrina.
Shug.
And the same thing happens with Sheem. When I speak to him, I say a heem. A heem.
Sure.
Shug is the usual reply. You try answering this time. Try with Sheem and with Katrina. A heem. A heem.
Sure.
A Katrina. A Katrina.
Shug. A Vairat.
Shug.
Banya.
Agus and coffee.
Banya, the milk. Coffee, the coffee. Remember the words we give you for the. Coffee. Banya. Board.
Board. Board.
Me fall off.
Board, ma.
A heem, a Katrina.
Oh, board. Board.
A board. On the table. When you use a preposition like which means on, a board, two things happen to board. The becomes a, and board becomes board. A board on the table. This change in the noun board, where the second letter becomes H, is called aspiration. A board on the table. CanSeo. Board. A board.
Cúpa a bhord.
Coffee a bhord.
Banya a bhord.
Siúchar a bhord.
Cúpa. A bhord.
Bacca, a bhord.
Bacca. A bhord.
Oh, am I dúlich.
An banne.
An banne a bhord.
Oh, tapalacht.
An coffee.
Tachbelacht.
A vilu geri banne an sa coffee.
Ha, am I giri banya.
Ha mi geri cúpa. Ha mi falaf.
Banne an sa choffie. Banne an sa chúpa. Vil ook jullie sjoeker?
Ha, tachbelacht.
Sin een sjoeker. Sjoeker aan sa choffie.
Ounce a coffee. In the coffee. CanSeo. Ounce a coffee.
Een backe.
Jay?
Tje ha aan sa backe.
Ha brood aan se wecke. Ha peper aan se wecke.
Oh, een peper.
Jiha ounce a feper.
Kaylee?
Shug, ha keili aan se waar.
Ounce a var.
Shug, ha keili aan se waar nog.
Ha Kaylee ounce a var a knock. Tonight. Ha Kaylee ounce a var a knock. There's a Kaylee in the bar tonight.
Ha Kaylee aan sa vare nog.
Ha keili aan se waar nog.
CanSeo. Ha Kaylee ounce a var a knock.
Vil ook op aan sa vare nog?
Ha mi gubber ounce a var. A vilu dolaun.
Ha mi al lawn. A Katrina,
Shug,
wil het al lawn.
koudje.
Een Kaylee
Oh, koudje wil een keili.
aan sa var.
Oh, een keili.
Sjug, wil het al lawn.
A vilu dolaun. CanSeo. Are you going there? A dol means going. A vil u dol aan? CanSeo. A vil u dol aan? A vil u dol aan?
Koudje.
Een Kaylee.
Oh, koudje wil een keili.
Kaja vil and Kaylee. Kaja means where. Where is the Kaylee? We'll give you a rough phonetic guide first. CanSeo. Kaja vil and Kaylee. Kaja vil and Kaylee.
Oh, koudje wil een keili.
Aan sa var.
Oh, een keili aan se waar nog.
Sjug, a vilu dolan.
Oh, ha. Ha mi scheinige keili.
Koa shynike Kaylee.
Ha Katrina a shine Kaylee.
Koa shynike Kaylee.
Ko ha shine Kaylee. Who is singing at the Kaylee? Two new words. Ko means who. Ko ha shine. And ek, the preposition at. Ek a Kaylee. CanSeo. Ko ha shine Kaylee.
Koa shynike Kaylee.
Ha Katrina a shine.
Ikke Kaylee.
Sjug,
Aan sa var.
sjug. A vilu dolan.
Solen toe, 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 solen toe ik meter. Solen toe, 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 kon je goeie.
Kim er hou Vairad?
Ag yma him. Gym ar y haw hen.
Ha goma taflat.
Y fel yw gyrru lager.
Chanel taflat. Ha mi gyori uske behe.
A Katrina Shane.
Ha. Oes chanel I ma. Kat je wel een bier?
Sinead y fod. Y fel yw gyrru uske.
Ha taflat. Kat je wel
Sinead y fod.
Oh, ha mi tulich.
Ha mi dwlich. Sinead. Ha mi dwlich. I'm sorry. A very important phrase. Ha mi dwlich. Here's the rough phonetic guide. CanSeo. Ha mi dwlich. Ha mi dwlich.
Solen toe, 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 kon je goeie. Hallo, hiem.
Oh, hallo Katrina.
Tje hou kool.
Ha mi gol uske behe oes uske. Je hou a gyori?
Ga niet koud. Koud je willen.
Tje,
Een peper.
y fel e'n sy faca.
Koud je willen bakken.
Sine.
Koudje.
Eke voor.
Oh, hij met dulig.
Y fel yw gyrru uske be him.
Ha taflat. Je hou Janef.
Hij met schijn.
Vairad. Chanel mi gyori uske behe idir. Ha mi af halaf.
Stadium kronia gaung nam po. Julen latroch heil nan krop.
This week, we're going to Tarbert in Harris and East Kilbride in South Uist to hear some conversational Gaelic. There's a new phrase introduced. Ounce a voo, which means in the shop. Ounce a voo.
Catch wel mij dat.
Ha iawn sy fw.
Ounce a voo. That phrase comes in a second extract. Look out for ounce a coffee and ir a vord in the first.
Hallo, kom maar hou.
Ha, kom maar.
Die hou ik jullie.
Ha, mi gyri koffie.
Ik wil ook jullie banje onze koffie.
Ha, agus siwgr, chanel siwgr i'r forst.
Ir a vord on the table.
Kaart je wel mali.
Hij is een woe.
Jij jullie onze boe.
Hij keer in banje.
Ha banje stoi.
Gaat je willen?
Ha de woord en schön. Oh, hem ik toelig.
If you've visited Gaelic-speaking areas of Scotland, you'll be aware of the preponderance of certain surnames in certain areas. The MacLeods in Skye, the MacNeils in Barra. This can give rise to a certain confusion. Take this old coat, for instance. It belongs to Donald MacDonald Ness. Let's try returning it to him.
So, here we are in Ness, the most northerly tip of the island of Lewis. My name's Martin MacDonald, and right now I've got a little bit of a problem. You see, it's all very well for Donald MacDonald to write his name on his coat, but there are hundreds of MacDonalds in this community, and probably Donald is one of the commonest Christian names. So, how do I find this particular Donald MacDonald? Well, let's have a try anyway. Donald.
Mr. Donald.
Je Sean Kotaku.
Hanie. Mr. Dolly Moore.
Oh, Dolly. Oh, how many Dolly?
Not Dolly Moore.
You see what I mean? He's Donald MacDonald right enough, but Dolly Moore. If I stopped off at some other house here, I'd probably find Dolly Bake, wee Donald. Or Dolly Two, that's Black Donald, probably because he's got black hair. They're all nicknames that describe some physical characteristic. But that's not really much help to me at the moment. I'm looking for Donald MacDonald Ness, and that's all I've got to go on. Anyway, let's have another try. Gaat je wel Donald?
Mis je Donald?
Je Sean Kotaku.
Ga je? Oh, mis je pa?
Ah, gaat je wel Donald maar? Donald. That kid doesn't have a nickname yet, but he soon will, don't you worry. Perhaps you're a bit puzzled by the cyclist's name, Ba. Well, it's quite simple. It's baby talk, really. When he was a kid, he tried to say Ballach, which is the Gaelic for a boy or a lad, Ballach. But all he could manage was Ba. Similarly, I've got a friend called Evic. When he was a kid, he tried to say his own name, Ian Bick, wee John, but he couldn't quite manage it. Evic, he made it, and Evic it still stayed. Donald.
Mr. Donald.
Je Sean Kotaku.
Hanie. Mr. Gipper.
Gippernach. Yes, another Donald MacDonald, but Donald MacDonald in Gippernach. Gippernach means scallywag or rascal. Again, it's a name he picked up in childhood, and it stuck with him. But eventually we do find the man we want. The coat fits and the name fits. Except, of course, that no one here in Ness knows him as either Donald or Donald MacDonald. They call him Mbakatu, the black bag, because of a black shopping bag he always carried to the local shop on childhood errands. But this habit of nicknames isn't merely a local idiosyncrasy of Ness. It's really a development of the old patronymic system, where you are named after your father or your grandfather, or possibly even their occupations. At home, I'm not Martin MacDonald. I'm Marsting Nelen Yeeper. Martin, son of Neil, son of Big John the Shepherd. It's a Gaelic way of telling people exactly who you are. And of course, it's not exclusively Gaelic. Other languages, Russian for instance, uses it as well. But here in Ness, they've taken the idea a stage further. They've even produced their local telephone directory based entirely on nicknames. Not a bad idea for town either when you come to think of it. Think of the endless number of times you've been trying to ring up John Smith and can't find him. Of course, in town, you'd have to renew that directory very frequently. People are always on the move. Here in Ness, they tend to stay in the same place a long time. It's a more settled way of life. The old clan names are still to be found in their traditional territories. The MacNeils are still in Barra, the MacLeods in Harris, and in Ness, we've got the Morrisons and, of course, the MacDonalds.
Now for the cereal, na Bonachin. Look out for some new phrases. Hikistai, come in, hikistai. And shin, which means over there, and mihin, myself. Will you ski?
Ha,
Will you carry coffee?
tapele, Tilly. Gaat je wel een schuurkar?
Her woord en shin.
Oh, am ik Tilly. Wel je niet koppen?
Kopper, Daniel, een duwtje sarna.
Oh, am ik Tilly.
Hij aan Jan Savu.
Oh, die had Juri aan zijn veu.
Carry paper. Ah, shinne. Ham ik carry paper roer de valschen.
Am hepeltje maar.
Ha. Jitte weg, geen. Je houden ze paper een.
Chanil Kaul.
Ah, schön maar. Agus schön.
Hij keeli aan je hunje.
Oh,
Ha, hij zien aan zijn feber.
gaat je willen, Gaelic?
Onze waar. Am ik zit je in berg. Buffet.
Wel. Ko ha schöne Gaelic. Wel er ze paper een.
Sine.
Oh, het shin ma.
Ha.
Wil u toch aan, Alistair?
Ha. Wil u heen zien niet te lang?
Veel een.
Oeps, op het.
We gaan trainen.
Zeg? Kom maar de houden gooien.
Ah, kom maar. Kom er ook heen.
Haken maar tapelet. Je hou kiri.
Lager.
Hami tulich.
Tulich?
Een bakken. Agus een brood.
Ach.
Ach, hami tulich.
Oh, tulich.
Ha, misje. Wil u heen tulich.
Misje tulich.
Zeg, een bakken.
Een makke. Een wonach.
Alles stil.
Ha wonach ma. Agus ha makke ma.
Wil u kiri lager?
Daniel, ham ik valaf. Ham ik koppet. Wil u te lang?
Daniel, hami kopet je hunge. Hami tulich. Ach, tapelet.
Oh. Oh, wel. Ham ik valaf. Cheerio.
Cheerio.
Hik is hij.
Hij vuren ju.
Het cheers, dat is zo. Wil u carry koffie?
Tapelat.
Wil u ski?
Ha, mi gleski. Shotje, hij ma.
Wil u carry sjoeker aan zijn koffie? Her woord en shin.
Schön, ma.
Gaan jullie aan je carry paper roer de balletje?
Oh, wil je aan je stuit?
Daniel, is... Ah, shinne.
Hallo aan.
Hallo, ja.
Hami voer veel koffie aan.
Her woord en shin koepen.
Gaan jullie curry pepper uur ietsje
Chanil.
Kelly aan zijn waardje heen. Je wil u heen gezegd die te lang niet aan.
Ha. Wil u heen te lang aan?
Ha, hem heen is alles te het al lang.
O heen, er is alles te. Wel, wel.
board.
A board. On the table. When you use a preposition like which means on, a board, two things happen to board. The becomes a, and board becomes board. A board on the table. This change, remember it's called aspiration, only takes place if the word for the is used with the noun. A board on the table. If I say board, which hasn't got aspiration, board, that means on a table. Board. But a board means on the table. This aspiration happens, of course, with nouns. We're going back to the sketch now to have a look at that. Listen carefully for the changes in coffee, which becomes ounce a coffee. In cúpa, which is cup, which becomes ounce a cúpa. In bacca, a bag, which becomes ounce a vacca. In paper, the newspaper, ounce a paper. And in bar, which becomes ounce a var. Hami giri cúpa, hami falaf.
Banya, ounce of coffee. Banya, ounce of chúpa. Wil ook jullie sjoeker?
How tachbelacht.
Shin sjoeker. Sjoeker, ounce of coffee.
Ounce a coffee. In the coffee. CanSeo, ounce a coffee.
Bacca.
Jay?
Jay ha ounce of vacca.
Ha brood aan ze wekken. Ha peper aan ze wekken.
Oh, paper.
Jay ha ounce a paper.
Kaylee?
Shug, ha Kaylee aan ze waar.
Ounce a var?
Shug, ha Kaylee aan ze waar dan nog.
Did you notice the changes in the sounds can take different forms? For example, cúpa becomes chúpa, bacca becomes vacca, but the underlying pattern is the same in each case. Let's take the phrase on the table. You start with the preposition Then comes the word for the, a apostrophe, and then the word table, board, which is aspirated. The letter H is inserted after the initial letter of the word board, B, to form B-H-O-R-D. Voord. So, board becomes voord. The last thing to remember is another form of aspiration. When you're addressing someone, when you're calling them by name, the name aspirates. That is, an H comes in as the second letter, and of course, the sound changes.
Wil she make your coffee? Aheem! Aheem! Wil ik your coffee? Hami fala.
Aheem!
Shug?
Wil ik your coffee?
Chanil, hami kjori banja.
Weirat.
Shug?
Hami your coffee agus banja.
Well, hami kjori coffee. Hami kjori banja, ounce coffee. Hami fala. See you next week.